Hello, let's see what's going on. Orientation is locked. We're gonna roll with this. Ta-da-ta-da. We're just gonna shift things around to accommodate what's happening. Let's see. Oops. It's always fun when there's technical difficulties. Okay. This is the beauty of the eye. Oop. There we go. Oh my God. Okay, this is going to be a little bit interesting. Ta-da! Okay. We're going to have to upgrade our system for the next one. Ta-da! Okay, hello. So I couldn't get the line to go sideways, the horizontal orientation, so we're just going to be working this way. This is Halloween Cards with Nina. For those of you that bought the class kit, almost everything is pre-cut for you, so you will need some liquid glue, tape runner, foam strips and dots, and a die cutting machine, so that we can assemble these 4 fabulous cards. So we have all the fun glitter stuff pre-die cut for you. We have the words pre-die cut, and the only thing we are going to die cut is this super cute apple. So sorry, we're going to go ahead and start with like a little overview. So kits were available for pre-purchase, and this is what your kit consisted of. And also one more thing. So you got the Tim Holtz Trick or Treat Colorized die set if you bought the kit. And we're just going to be using this die set here. So I've pulled mine out and put it on a magnet sheet so it makes it easy for me to work with. It also has a little bag of shaker bling for our shaker card. You get a 6x6 pad of the vintage Halloween paper from Crafter's Companion. You have a little baggie of pre-cut papers, and this is what we're going to use to die cut our apples. So I'm just going to put these together to the side. You have one embossed sentiment that says Bonjour, and this was already pre-stamped and heat embossed using the vintage Halloween stamp set from Crafter's Companion called Boo to You. So we just used this Bonjour and already stamped and heat embossed it with some white embossing powder. So we have that here for us. And then you have a bunch of pre-cut die cut pieces. You also have like a little bit of a sampler of the new glitter paper from Crafter's Companion. So there's a Halloween pack, which is these 4 colors here, black, purple, orange, and green. And then there's a gold and silver pack, and you just have the gold. And this is what we're going to use to make some of our cards. And some of these pieces have already been pre-die cut for you. You also have 4 6x6 holographic overlay sheets. So these are sold 12 by 12 and we cut them down so you can get a little bit of sampler of each of them. And they're holographic, and they do have a little protective sheet on the back too. So you should have the Happy Halloween, the skulls, the trick or treat, and the spiders. And then you should have, last but not least, 4 card bases that are pre-scored. Okay, so we are going to start with we're actually just going to start with this Bonjour card because it's pretty simple, and my card samples are still at the shop. They got left behind in the chaos of school pickup and getting home in time at the end of the workday. So we're going to start with this card. So for this, well, you'll also need a paper trimmer. I think I forgot to put it on there, but you'll need a paper trimmer to cut things down. So, so we're going to start with that bone card, and in this cute little package you will find, you're going to have extra pieces in here too, just because while we were die cutting, we weren't keeping some of the pieces. Oh. So there should be a gold piece in here, and you'll need this, but you'll very carefully punch down. So the only problem when you use glitter paper is it has this kind of cool backing to keep it all nice and solid. So I always punch down and not away just to not rip some of the glitter off. So you just need this frame. And then you can carefully put the rest of the stuff aside. So you'll need the frame, you'll need the Bonjour, you'll need the bones overlay or transparency, whichever one you want to call it. And then you'll need a piece of paper from the 6x6 pad. So you'll open it up. Just cracking mine open as well. Okay, and there are 12 designs in here. So we're going to find the one that has this witch's hat on here. So the witch, it's like orange. It's going to be orangey with a witch. There we go. Towards the back. And at the top it has 2 kind of hanging skeletons. So you're going to find this piece in the book. The back has a red kind of plaid. So you're going to find that piece. So you should have these for, oops, like this. The overlay, the gold piece, the Bonjour, and this 6x6 piece here. So I will give everyone about 10 seconds to find all those pieces from their kit. Okay, so once you have all of these pieces together, what we're going to do is cut down the transparency sheet and this 6x6 piece of paper to be A2 sized, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It is the same size as your card base. So I just folded my card base in half, and you can see that it will cover the whole front of the card base. So if you are not familiar with card base sizes, it is, let me get a piece of paper here real fast. We're going to cut them down to 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. So you can use whatever type of cutter or trimmer you have. I am going to use the little Tim Holtz And I'm just going to do some backwards math because this one doesn't go to 4 1/4, but I know that this is a 6 by 6 inch pad. Correct. I'm going to verify really fast. This has a 0 center. Yes, this is a 6 by 6 inch pad. So we're going to do some backwards math for me to use this cutter. So I am going to take mine and simply cut off, oops, 6 minus 4 1/4, which is 1 3/4. So as long as you have it be 4 1/4 wide by 5 1/2, and I'm going to cut the 5 1/2. No. I'm trying to decide if I want to cut it at the top or the bottom. And I want those cute little skeletons to show. So I'm going to cut it from the bottom. So I'm going to cut that 1/2 inch off the bottom on mine. It just depends on what cutter you're using. And then you're going to do the same thing with the skulls transparency. Just cut it down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'm gonna cut mine. So now you still have like an extra cool strip to put on the side of a card, or you can layer them again and just do a cute little hanging piece, extra piece. Ta-da! Okay, so this is probably the simplest card that we have of the 4, just because it's you put it together very easily. So this pre-die cut piece is from the Lawn Fawn stacked stitched rectangle frames set, and so we use the biggest one here, which is on the outside, to die cut all of the 2 frames for you guys. And so what you're going to do with this card is we're going to glue the overlay onto that background there. So you can kind of, sorry, you're going to want to take that protective piece off the back. So all the transparencies have a protective piece. You're going to take it off the back. And then you're just going to glue it down. And just kind of across on the edges, because that glue will get covered by the frame that we're going to put on top. So I'm just going to go kind of all the way around. You don't want to go too far away because even though my glue dries clear, it'll still, I don't want it to show too much with the transparency. Boop, boop, boop. And now I can also actually put just a tiny strip here in the middle, because I'm going to hide that with this cute little sentiment, but it's going to secure my overlay the right way. And you can see that there is one side that's glossier than the other, and so just match those up nice and good. And glue them down. Now mine has a little bit of overhang, like I didn't cut it exactly the same, and that's okay because I will cut it. I'm going to glue my frame on top of that and then trim any excess I need after. So I'm just putting some liquid glue on my frame. Do, 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 do. And the liquid glue is great because it just gives you a couple seconds of wiggle room in case you need it. And that's it. And then this card is almost done. So you can leave this sentiment. I left some overhang so you could trim it down if you wanted. If you want to use a pair of decorative scissors or a decal trimmer or anything else, I gave you a little bit of extra wiggle room there. So you can trim it down a little bit more so it's a little bit tighter, or leave it the way it is. I'm going to trim mine just because, why not? And then I'm just going to glue it straight on. I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue right over where I had put the liquid glue to kind of ground my piece there, and just a little bit on the edges there. And that's our first quick and easy card. And then you have that cute little, the transparency, and you have that kind of scene in the background happening, and it looks like those skeleton heads are kind of flying at you, and that looks really cool, I think. Ta-da! Okay, so I'll give everyone like 10 seconds. Oh, and then to finish it off, you just put it straight onto your card base. And I'll give everybody about a minute to kind of finish that off. It's starting to get dark in here too, so I'll go and turn the light on, and hopefully when you guys are watching this on the replay, it works out for you guys too. Ta-da! We have card number 1. Oh no, I don't like that glare. Every time I move things around, oh, because I moved this. Ay. Every time I get in a good place, I move something, and then I get a new glare. It's okay. Just gonna put a piece of white paper to work on, and glares are not so bad anymore. Hopefully. We'll see. Let's see how this goes. Okay. So that's card number 1. The second card we're going to do is similar. So we're going to find the orange frame we had. And the second card doesn't actually have a transparency piece. It's just all flat. So we're going to find the orange frame, and then we're going to grab the 6x6 pad again. So this card needs, I'm just going to put this up here a little bit. This card is going to need the orange frame. We're going to grab the 6x6 pad. And this time we're going to find, can I see it from the front? Eek, maybe not. It might be this page. It's got pumpkins. It's like orange. Is it this one? Nope, there's pumpkins and a cross. Also, you don't have to use the same papers that I'm using. You can use whichever ones you want, which is kind of why we gave you the whole pad, because there's so many cool designs in it that we don't want this one. Haha. So it's the very last print, of course. So you're going to find the very last print. It has kind of this red and orange buffalo plaid on the back. And it has the jack-o'-lanterns at the top and a couple cross gravestones on there. So you need these 2 pieces. And then from the die cut kit again, the pre-die cut stuff, there's 2 bats. So you'll need this card over here. You'll need the 2 bats, if I can find them. Ta-da! Okay, and then you'll need the word Wicked. Now Wicked was die cut for you twice. We die cut it in the inside piece of the green frame, and you're going to have to carefully pop that out, and in black. So the card was originally designed to have it just in green, so you can play with it. I thought the green might pop a little bit more if it had a piece of black behind it. We're just going to be a little bit on the struggle bus with this. Da, 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 da. So you'll need the Wicked in the black and the green. If you don't want to use the black, you don't have to. But I think that if the Wicked, hold on, I can pick it up, I promise. It sits like this, flat, Wicked on the card. But I think it'll be cuter if you have a little bit of black shadow behind it. So I'm going to do that. And so I did that so that everyone could choose if they wanted to have the shadow or not behind it. Do, 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 do. And I apologize for the vertical orientation. I don't know what happened. I got a new phone and I'm still trying to figure some of the things out. Like my watch isn't paired to it, I discovered today. I've had the phone for like a week now. Ay, ay, ay. Just have to be a little bit careful on some of these tiny details. I'm being a little too rough. Oh, I was a little too rough and mine pulled apart, and that's okay because I'm just going to modify it. That little detail. I also find it's hard when you have your nails done. 100% always on the struggle bus with my nails lately. I'm just going to take I'm going to take my detail scissors and snip that little piece off. Where are my detail scissors? Over here. So I'm just going to snip right there and there and just kind of make it the way it is. There's just a oops, oh well, in the words of Dina Wakley. If you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. Oops, oh well, let's keep going. And watch, this black one will work for me, huh? Of course. So you have it in black and green, so if it doesn't work in the one color, you could use the other one. Ta-da! Okay, and the words are from Tim Holtz's New Vault set. I didn't even talk about that. It's from the new vault set. What is this called? Vault Gothic Portraits. Ta-da. So it has those 3 words. It has some of the butterflies. It has a spider that you guys also got. And it has some silhouettes in there. So this cut, So what we're going to do is cut down this little paper to be, again, that A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. But this time we're going sideways because we want a landscape orientation to accommodate that word like wicked and give it some room. So we're going to cut it just like this. But I'm doing it upside down again because, oh no, I'm not doing it upside down. I'm doing it backwards with some math because I'm using this small. No, which day? I want to cut. I want the trees. So I'm going to cut some on this side off. Where are we? Maybe I'll cut a little bit of each side off. Half. Boop, 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 boop. Is this right? I have to do some, nope, this one needs to be 5 1/2. So the long side, I'm only cutting 1/2 inch off because I'm going the wrong way. And then this side, I'm cutting 4 1/4. So it should be 4 1/4 tall by 5 1/2 wide because we're going sideways. And then the same thing, we're just going to glue the pre-cut orange frame on top of that piece right there. So I have my liquid glue. I usually glue in the air, but I'm worried about hitting the camera. It's really hard to glue flat. I'm an air gluer. So just line that up. And then this is where you can choose. I'm going to choose to put the black down first so that I have kind of a base, but because I snipped that C, I'm going to snip it on here too. Besides, this is just like a background piece, so it won't show too much. So I'm just going to put some glue. I use Barely Art Glue. It's my favorite lately. So I'm just going to kind of put it here along the bottom. And any little glue that like kind of overhangs, I'm just gonna kind of wipe off. Except for there where it overhanged a little. And then I'm gonna do the green wicked right on top of the black, but just a little bit offset. Boop, 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 boop. The nice thing about the liquid glue is you have a couple minutes to kind of zhuzh how you want the offset. Ta-da. And then if you have anywhere that doesn't stick down, you can just boop, boop. Just go back in with your liquid glue and get it down. And then just put your 2 little bats, like kind of flying around the word wicked. And that's this card. Ta-da! Super cute and easy peasy. Okay, and you just put it on, you put that one on your card base too. And I'll give everybody about like a minute to catch up. Just putting some glue on my card base. And hopefully this video uploads correctly. Otherwise, I'm going to have to re-record, and that's okay. Ta-da! Then we have 1 and 2. I'm just checking the chat to see if there's any questions, but I don't see any. So if you have questions, you can put them in the chat. Or if I'm going too fast, let me know. Okay. The next card we're gonna do is the shaker card. It'll be a little bit harder, but then we can save all the die cutting for the end. And for the die cutting, I'm using the Sidekick machine just because it's small and I don't have to run the plates through. You can use the Scout also if you want, but I'm just gonna do a bunch of cuts one at a time just so you guys can see what paper I'm using. So I want to be able to go like medium fast on the die cutting. But so we're going to do the shaker card next. So you'll have to find some pieces for the shaker card. So you will need the black scallop stitched frame. This is also a Lawn Fawn die. So Vanessa from our design team designed this class. She made these cards and I was like, ooh, can I teach this as a class? And she said, sure. And she loves those frames. So you'll also need the word fright, which is in that other part of the black die cut piece from your kit. Go very slowly. And if you tear it, it's not a big deal because you can just glue it down in place. Garbage. You'll need, there's a black spider, so you should have a little tiny piece that has a little black spider. And you'll pop out the little space between his legs. And you'll need the transparency that has the spiders on it. And don't forget to take the backing off. I was having trouble cutting mine, and it's because of the backing, I'm pretty sure. And you'll keep your shaker bits handy, and you'll need some foam strips. So I use the scrapbook adhesive foam strips. That are right here. So they're already pre-stripped for us, and we're just going to use those and put them around the back to create our thing. So the first thing you're going to do is cut down your overlay. Now this spider doesn't really have like an orientation it has to be, so just cut it down to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So the transparencies, if you love them, we have them at the shop, and they come in a 12 pack. I think you get 3 of each of the 4 designs for, I think, $9.99. But then we also have them opened up, and you can buy them per sheet also. I think at $1.99. Oops, did I get this wrong? A little bit. Oh, I forgot you need a purple. JK, you need a purple, and this one actually, you're gonna have to trim it a little bit down. Let's see where we're trimming it. We want it to kind of hide right behind all of this. So let me get you 4 1/4. I think we should do 4 1/8 or 4. I am going to practice here. So this is going to be, that's 4 1/4. So we want it to be, oops. Okay, so you want to cut down the transparency. Sorry, don't cut it. You want it to be the spider transparency to be 4 by 5 1/4 inches. And then you will need the purple glitter sheet that you have, and you'll need to cut a piece that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 from the purple sheet for the backing. So for the backing of that, you'll just cut a piece 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm just gonna cut mine with my big cutter, which is off camera. So then the base of our card will be the purple. I'm gonna put my little embellishments to the side. So you have 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then you have the spider transparency at 4 by 5 1/4. And then you'll just glue down, wait. Oh, I didn't cut my transparency down. I'm like, it's still too big. Cut down your transparency. And then glue it to the back of, you'll glue it to the back of the stitch scallop edge. So I'm just going along the stitch line. And then my dark shiny side down. Ta-da. And then it shouldn't show. And if there's some extra glue, it's okay because it'll dry. Or you can try and wipe it off if you want. But here is the beauty of the shaker card. So this purple piece is just going to go straight down on our card base. So you can glue that down now, or you can wait. I'm going to wait because I'm going to like line mine up. I'm going to eyeball mine line up afterwards with the, or maybe not. Which way? No, I'm going to glue mine down. We're going to do it this way. Sometimes I go, it just depends on which way I find to be easier with what sort of shaker card I'm making. And I think this one's going to be easier to just put the shaker bits straight onto the glitter. So put the purple glitter flat down. And then we're going to build with our foam strips a barrier all the way around the card. Oh no, I'm sorry, Linda. Yeah, I think I mentioned it in the beginning. But my little tiny cutter did okay. So you're gonna put foam all the way around and touch up. You want to touch the edges, edge to edge. You don't want any space showing. And then you want to keep it like in the white so that you don't see it from the front side if you flip it over. All the way around. You just don't want any, you don't want there to be a gap for anything to come out. So especially here where you're going to have to kind of like trim pieces to go all the way around. I'm going to put this piece back and take a long piece. And put it up nice. Nice and tight in there. Boop, boop, boop. Now, if you want it to be like really thick, you could do a second layer. I'm not going to do it really thick. The sequence we gave you is very flat, even the tiny little micro beads. And so you can, oh no, I don't, that's weird. So I cut mine with this little cutter, and I don't have, I used my cutter pillar, which is my tabletop cutter. You could draw some lines with a scissor. I know it's not ideal, but draw some lines with a scissor, and you could hand cut it with a pair of scissors, like some thick scissors. I'm just taking this bag and just kind of shaking it up real good, because when we dumped it in, we used 3 different sequence packs. And you have more than enough, more than you'll need. But I'm just going to make a cute little kind of pile in the middle. Ooh, some of those little micro beads are leaving. I probably put too much, but that's okay. And then after you put it in the middle, that's interesting. I'm going to talk to the rep about that too, because I haven't had that problem, Linda. But I would try, see if you can cut it with a pair of scissors. then very carefully line up. And you'll see a little bit of purple outside the scallop edges, and that's okay. Okay. Ta-da! You'll have some fun. Da-da-da. And if you really wanted to, you could put the static film. I don't usually put static film inside most of my shaker cards because I like when it clings a little bit, because then people know that there's something in there and they can shake it. But ta-da! So that is that card, and then you're just going to put Fright on the front and the cute little spider, just kind of wherever you want to position the spider and the Fright. So there was for the next card, which is the apple card, there is a cutting guide in there, so I don't know if anybody used it to pre-cut their pieces, which was totally acceptable. You could. I did not, so I'm die cutting live. And hopefully for the next class, we just had a trade show this week, Monday, Tuesday with Spellbinders, so I'm working on another little virtual class, so hopefully people like this YouTube setup better, but I will fix the orientation issue because that is driving me insane. Kind of hard. Boop, 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 boop. Ta-da, and that's card number 3. Look at us, how fast. 3 cards in an hour. So I'll put that up there. And we're going to get it all kind of ready for the next one. So the next one, you have a piece of gold already kind of cut, and it's going to go down, and then we're going to line up the green piece on top of it. So you have a green scallop piece, a gold piece, and you will need, while you finish this up, I'm just talking, you'll need to cut also the next transparency the same size, 4 by 5 1/4, and it's the Trick or Treat. So make sure there should only be film on the one side. I'm pretty sure. Yep, there's only film on the one side. So take the film off and then cut your transparency down. This one, orientation matters. This is a vertical card. So this card is going to go up and down. So make sure you cut 4 inches across and 5 1/4 inches tall. So it's going to be 4 across and 5 1/4 tall. And then you can pick kind of which section of the words you want to show, or if you don't want to pick, doesn't matter. They're just going to hide behind that cute little die cut apple that we're going to make. So this is going to be kind of the same. We're going to glue the transparency to this frame, and then we're going to glue the green to the back of this. Okay, I'm going to hold off for a minute or two so people can finish their shaker card and see what's going on. have a standing desk. I need to sit down. Okay, so hopefully you've finished kind of your shaker card. And then you've got these pieces cut down. So this gold piece is already cut down. It was in your pack pre-cut. You have the gold, the green scallop, and then you're going to cut down the Trick or Treat transparency to also be 4 inches by 5 1/4. 4 inches wide by 5 1/4 tall. So that you can put it on the way so that you can get this orientation for the card. Okay, so once you cut down the transparency, you're just gonna, again, we're gonna glue it to the back of that scallop edge. Boop, boop, boop. And we're just gonna get it nice in there so that it looks ta-da, nice like that. And then you'll notice that this gold piece is going to be a little bit trickier because it's just barely, it's the inside of cutting the flat stitched, so it's almost the same size as this one. So this gold piece we're going to glue straight down onto our card base first, because we also can't put any, if we put some gold on here with the transparency, it'll show. So we're just going to take this gold piece and glue it to kind of the center of the card base so that you have enough, room. And this one will have, it'll have, actually, you know what'll be easier? JK, let's just do it that way. No, that won't be easier. Vanessa designed this one to have a little bit of white frame in the background, and that's just the nature of the card. Even when Lawn Fawn uses it, you can see a little bit in the background. You can ink blend that background if you don't want it to be like that, but we were showing how you can use both pieces of the gold, the outside and the inside, to make 2 cards. You also have an extra piece of gold that if you want the gold to go all the way, the whole full panel, you can cut that extra piece of gold that you have to put it back there. So I'm going to take my card base. Oh, no, I cut this one apart. I need a new card base. I had to do surgery for that one. So I'm going to take my card base and I'm going to glue this in the center. So I am just eyeball centering it. Boop, 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 boop. Down. And then with this, we're going to glue it flat, just straight right on top. And it should line up perfectly just by putting glue underneath that white area. Do, 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 do. And just put it right on top there. I'm gonna hold it down for a couple seconds. Ooh, wiggle, wiggle. Ooh. Liquid glue has some wiggle time. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Ta-da! And then while that gets glued down, while that dries, we're gonna set it to the side. Oh, mine didn't glue down. Might need some extra glue. If it doesn't stick down, I'm going to put some score tape behind it, which is extra sticky, just to get it nice and I think I'm going to do that anyway. So I'm going to grab some score tape and put it down. Place the right side, that'll look, nope, too fat. I'm going to grab the 1/8. I probably could have been more patient with it, but it's live and I don't want to be more patient. And it's okay if there's liquid glue there because it's just liquid glue on score tape. Some people put liquid glue down first on their score tape projects too, just to give themselves a little bit of wiggle room, especially if you're doing an album or something. Take 2. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Awesome. Ta-da! That worked a lot better. So the score tape. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. So then the next part is going to be, we're going to take out your dies, and you'll need the dies for the apple and the little baggie with pre-cut pieces for your apple. So we're going to set this aside so it doesn't get lost, and then you're going to need your dies and then this little baggie of pre-cut pieces. Ta-da! So it's not the it's not going to be the end of the world if you don't get the correct order in the reds. I'm just going to tell you that from now. It's just about putting different layers in there so that we can get everything die cut and done. So what I'm going to do is make sure I'm on camera. So I'm going to show you which pieces are getting what. Turn this this way. That way, that way. Can you see all of them? Yes. Yay! You also on the back of the handout sheet that had the link, there is a die cutting guide for you as well. Oops. JK, I put this down on the wrong one. Do you love that? I started off that way. Okay. So the base is just going to be one of the reds. Choose. I think the lighter one is what I'm going with. And then it also has this one with the 3 pieces. The dark brown has this piece. It's called Apple Red 1. The lighter brown is going to have this kind of caramel apple-y part, which says Apple Red 2. And it's going to have this accent piece for the stick, which says Apple Brown 2 on the back. The stick's going to have this light brown piece here. This kind of, it looks like a piece of hair is going to go to that small glitter piece. This glitter piece is going to get this kind of weird looking upside down toupee piece also. This little red apple piece that has the outline for these little 3 pieces, it's going to have, you have one little strip of red that is pearlescent. It's shimmery. And that is from the Opulent paper. So that's going to have that piece there. And then we have the dark red. That big dark red piece is going to have that piece. And then that little red piece is going to have the little apple top with the opening. So just like the cutting guide, and then we're just going to die cut and assemble. So I'm going to die cut in the order that's easiest to assemble, which is why I'm using the Sidekick, so I don't have a ton of space. I don't have it taking up a ton of space, and it's suction cupped onto my glass mat here. So I'm going to die cut this kind of base piece first. Ta-da, oops. Of course, my piece is a little bit too big. So this is the base for our apple. It's that red piece that has the 2 pieces to it. So I'm going to die cut that first. Ta-da! So I have my apple piece there. And then I'm going to save those 3 little pieces to the side. Okay. And then as I use my pieces, I'm just putting them to the side back on my magnet sheet. Okay, then I'm just going to pick, am I going to start with the bottom or am I going to start with the top of my apple? I'm just going to kind of go in base layers because the colorized dies have that kind of following for you. So I'm just going to do it as it is. So I'm going to do this dark brown piece next. Okay. Chop down my piece a little bit. And run it through. So this was the apple red one, the base. And then I'm just gonna put that straight on to the apple right as we're going, because it gives me the guide for the next layer that I'm gonna cut. Come on. What is my luck with lives? Oh, there we go. Oh no, I'm pushing too hard. Okay, I have that wiggle room so I can line it all up. I just chose to die cut the base in red because it's just gonna show that little whole piece, so that's gonna be okay with me. So I'm just gonna go with the top part next, which is this. Is it this one? Green apple. Yep, green, and then green apple 2, green apple 3. So it tells you which number it is, and this one should be green apple 4. Ta-da! So we're gonna do green apple 2 on that smaller red piece. And again, I'm just going to glue as we go, assemble as we go. Ta-da! And you can see the different shades of red stacked on top of each other. Then I'm going to go back to brown. I don't know why I'm zigzagging, but I am. With the apple red 2 and that kind of other piece. I'm going to put this stick piece to the side because I don't need that right now. I'm going to pop out those 2 little pieces there and then glue this piece right on top. Boop, 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 boop. And then I'm going to go back up to the apple with that darker red piece. And again, if you don't like the order of the reds that I'm doing, you can change it up. You have the guide and you have extra paper. I did cut the pieces to be a little bit bigger than you needed them, just in case you didn't like what I was doing. Because everyone has a cute little, a different style. Boop, 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 boop. And then this one goes following that crease again. Just got that one. Okay. And then you have some Lawn Fawn glitter paper. So we're going to cut that. The next brown piece. So it's going to look like this. Is there another piece? Nope, it looks like this. So it has some thinner pieces to glue down. just going to line it up with that part there. And then I'm just going to cut the red, and I think this glitter piece, and this last twig piece all at the same time, because it's easy enough. So these are our next 3 layers. Include the red. Now this is that shimmery, that pearlescent red. You're just going to line it up with the impressions from the other die cuts, and then you have those extra 3 red pieces we're going to put down, which are always impossible to pick up with my fake nails. So I'm using the wax pickup tool. Any wax pickup tool will do. If you don't need that, you don't need it. But I've been finding it very handy. And to turn it over. Ta-da! And you have, oh no, I said ta-da. I missed a layer. Just gonna go. And last but not least, our little twig piece, which also has some little score lines, so you're just going to get the orientation facing the right way, and put a little glue on it. Ta-da! And then you're just going to glue to the base of the apple, kind of whichever way you want. And it's so cute. Oh my god, all these cute little colorized dies are super cute that come in this set. Oh, so excited. I was so excited that she was inspired by this. And then you see the pieces are labeled green and red because that's how the artwork is. And we just did it in brown and red. Doesn't matter. You just pick a color palette and go. This looks more like a candy apple. This is more like a bloody apple. And then we're just going to glue it onto the acetate of our card. If you don't want to glue it flat, you can foam pop it up, but we already have a bunch of dimension from putting that glitter paper in the back, and then the transparency, and then this like overlay, and then because the apple itself has a bunch of dimension with the layers, we didn't pop it up. Ta-da! And that's the last card. Yay! So I hope everyone enjoyed this class, and then hopefully I'm gonna fingers crossed that the what do you call it? The video shows up after this with the little snafu we had starting. But I hope you guys enjoyed the class and looking forward to seeing y'all next time. If you're doing Maker Mania, I guess I'll see you this weekend. Or if you're doing Tina Wakely's class this weekend too. And then if you're doing Hero Arts birthday bash, I'll see you next week. So have a happy Wednesday night, everybody. Bye.